What are you doing here?
Once again, we are here with Steffan Mock for the third part. Yes.
That's too many threes. That made 6.
Yeah. MCU Epic Ranking 2018. Rocket blasting in. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Anyway, this movie was fun.
It was a blast.
In terms of story, it's definitely not as good as many of the Marvel films. But it was such a cool villain. An entire planet is the villain, and
just bringing in Kurt Russell at all. Kurt Russell is possibly my favorite actor, so I was so happy to see him as part of the MCU.
So much good music. It was a fun-filled movie. Baby Groot was hilarious to watch.
Oh my god.
I mean, this is where Yondu is like the surprise hit of the movie, and you're like, holy crap, we kind of overlooked him in the first movie, but now he's like the best character.
Yeah, they're like,
yeah. I mean, and I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. It's just great.
Yeah,
it was a great movie, and the stakes were raised. There were just so many plot points. So that's the only reason it's as low as it is. Stabbing you in the back at number 7 is Captain America Civil War. This movie was interesting. It didn't feel like it should have been a Captain America movie. They made it work as a Captain America movie.
I mean, he was still like kind of the main one.
And it was about retrieving Bucky Barnes and the Accords and all that. But it should have most likely just been Marvel's Civil War.
Yeah.
It made sense, and it definitely served a point in the storyline so that we could have them break apart.
Yeah.
It's just basically Avengers 2.5.
Yeah.
When I first saw the movie, I thought the movie was flawless. And I went with what everyone else said.
I did too.
Thought it was flawless. Then as I purchased it and watched it several times, I was like, why? How did this get overlooked? This is really a huge oversight. And
this villain's plot is kind of
convoluted and confusing and shouldn't work.
It would never play out that way.
Not to mention that they sort of already are in a fight with each other, even without him doing everything he does to get them to fight each other. So it just seemed pointless. While it's cool that the villain was just a dude, the airport scene, okay.
The airport scene's okay, that is one of the best scenes
in
the MCU.
And it does introduce Spider-Man into the MCU, which in itself deserves some props.
Ant-Man getting big.
Yeah, that was a fun surprise.
So good. God, that scene's fantastic. Just watching them all beat up on each other. It's not the best Captain America movie. But it's still pretty fantastic.
The random camera in the middle of the woods that just happens to pick up the murder of Tony Stark's parents.
Set it up perfectly to where we could have Iron Man against Captain America in that awesome battle at the end. So who cares?
Right.
We want to see that because it looks cool. There's no strings on number 6 with Avengers Age of Ultron.
Okay, so a lot of hate on this movie straight off the bat. A lot of people think it's the worst Marvel movie ever, and I'm like, no, it's definitely not.
Yeah, and we're in agreement on that. That's why it's as high as number 6.
And I think it let down a lot of people. This is a big villain. You have to work within the confines of the MCU.
Yeah.
Knowing that Thanos is coming next, you kind of have to tone down the villain that comes before. The plot is everywhere. That's because Joss Whedon had to put so many dang stories all crammed together so that they could set up like 20 movies that come after it.
Yeah.
So yes, the movie is absolutely a setup movie. It is not truly a standalone film. But for what it does in such a short period of time, I have to give it huge applause. It has some really awesome action scenes.
Yeah.
Like my favorite is the train.
Buster.
Oh, that's
the
good
Hulk
too.
Buster. Yeah, that was...
my favorite, though, is the train with Quicksilver running through the train, moving people around, and then Cap fighting Ultron with his shield, and then Scarlet Witch slowing down things.
Yeah.
But before that even happens, you got Black Widow on a motorcycle falling out of a Quinjet, while Hawkeye's flying through the air, and then they're taking off with this giant semi-truck and everything. And that's the cool thing. Ultron's just driving a semi-truck.
Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, that's their introduction.
Yeah.
Also, Vision, that Sokovia battle at the end was great.
It is one of my favorite movies. I enjoyed the back and forth banter between Ultron and his dad, Tony Stark. Basically set up Tony as not necessarily a totally likable character, which was necessary for Civil War to happen.
I mean, from the get-go, he wasn't a fully likable character. I love Andy Serkis as Ulysses Klaue, and that was his little
introduction.
He had that little introduction scene.
Yeah.
And he's great. I love Andy Serkis.
And overall, the movie was great for me. It has a great opening, a great closing. Like that, whew, all of them in one row.
Oh, that shot, yeah. Kind of that was this
Such
one.
Such a strong opener.
From the first Avengers of Ultron, so.
It's very cool. Clawing its way in at number 5 is Black Panther. This movie is really freaking cool.
Yeah.
A completely different story direction than all the other Marvel movies.
The interesting thing they did with this one is, like, especially with Killmonger's motivations, just so much more, the social issues that they're dealing with on this, and made it more of an important film.
Yeah, it's just straight up a good superhero movie with really cool tech, some really fun fight scenes.
Yeah. With Killmonger, one thing I really love about his character, he's not wrong, he's just going about it the wrong way.
This has been our MCU Epic Ranking.
What's yours?
Thanks so much for watching.
Please like and subscribe.
And click that bell to be notified of future episodes. So, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I think I'd go teleportation.
Teleportation? I always said I wanted to load and save time, like a video game, but be limited. That way, you wouldn't totally control your life.